From the very beginning, Harry was the spark that could light up any room. That cheeky grin, the rebellious streak, the boyish charm that screamed, "I'm not like the rest." He was the royal who broke rules, the one who laughed at tradition, and the one people loved because he felt real. For years, Harry thrived on that edge. He wasn't stiff or uptight like the others. He was the fun prince, the rebel prince. Crowds adored him because he wasn't afraid to be raw, messy, human. But fast forward to now, and oh, how things have changed. The spotlight that once adored him has dimmed. That energy, the very thing that made him magnetic, seems to be slipping right through his fingers. And people are whispering, actually they're gossiping, that maybe it's not just time that's catching up with Harry, maybe it's Meghan. Let's be real. Meghan Markle came into Harry's life like a storm. Insiders say even before her royal days, Meghan was hunting for fame. The whispers go back years. She was allegedly chasing British celebrities long before Harry ever showed up. Ashley Cole, the footballer married to Cheryl. Matt Cardle, that X Factor winner. Max George from The Wanted. She wanted a famous British man on her arm, and in the end, she landed the jackpot. Prince Harry. To her critics, this wasn't destiny. This was ambition finally paying off. And when Meghan finally walked into that royal circle, the fairy tale was supposed to begin. But it didn't. Instead, it crumbled. Fast. What we got was a saga filled with accusations, racism, suffocating rules, toxic institutions. Meghan set herself up as the outsider who refused to play by palace rules. And Harry? Poor Harry. He leaned right into her story, backing her version of events, standing by her against his own family. Together they told the world their escape was about survival. But let's not sugarcoat it. The world saw something else. To many, it looked like a calculated escape, one dressed up as victimhood. The problem? Actions have consequences, and now those consequences are slamming into them like a tidal wave. The events that once rolled out red carpets for Harry and Meghan now barely notice them. Hollywood, oh, the same Hollywood that once begged for selfies, has gone ice cold. Big names don't want to be dragged into their next Netflix, confessional, or memoir bombshell. One Hollywood producer brutally labeled Harry the exiled royal who just won't stop talking, and friends who once cheered them on, they've turned their backs too. And while Harry's watching his kingdom crumble, Meghan is adapting, carefully, cunningly. Her moves scream independence. She's showing up at events alone, making headlines without Harry, choosing the photo ops that scream, "I'm still relevant." Her body language doesn't lie either. She's leaning into her independence, and the whispers are already starting. Is there another man in the picture? Even if it isn't true, does it matter? In the gossip world, rumors are everything. Whispers turn into reputation, and reputation becomes reality. Meghan's moves look less like loyalty and more like strategy. Meanwhile, Harry, he looks like the spare part. That viral clip from the Time 100 event was proof enough. Remember? Their car pulls up, cameras ready. Meghan seated closest to the cameras. Of course she is, ready for her grand entrance. Harry, being the gentleman, circles around, offers his arm. And what happens? Meghan brushes past him, straight into another man's arms for a dramatic hug. The optics couldn't have been harsher. Meghan, she was the star of her own movie. Harry, he looked like the awkward extra. And if you think it gets better when Harry goes home, think again. Behind palace walls, insiders say the reception was frosty at best. King Charles kept his distance. William buried himself in royal duties. Queen Camilla allegedly refused to be photographed alone with him. The message was clear. Harry was no longer welcome. Old friends? They didn't even bother. The ones who once partied with Harry skipped out, or worse, kept conversations clipped and shallow. Nobody wanted to become content for Harry's next Netflix series or memoir chapter. Brutal, right? The contrast is glaring. Once Harry was the rebel prince who lit up rooms, now he's the liability nobody wants around. And his demeanor shows it. That confident smile, forced, those speeches, scripted. Commentators are saying it's like every word comes pre-approved by Meghan's PR team. The fire in his belly? Gone. And people online have noticed. Social media isn't asking, "Where's Harry?" anymore. They're asking, "Why does he look so sad? Is Meghan replacing him?" And let me tell you, those are not harmless questions. They cut deep. Because while Harry trudges through awkward London appearances, Meghan is thousands of miles away in California, sipping coffee with Hollywood execs. Every photo, every smile, every handshake, carefully timed, perfectly staged, screaming, "I'm independent. I'm still a star." She doesn't even have to say it. The images tell the story. Meghan is building her empire brick by brick. Harry, he looks like a man who's lost the script. And what's worse, the whole world sees it. Meghan's strategy is almost textbook Hollywood survival. She knows exactly how fragile fame is, how quickly it can slip away, and she refuses to let that happen. Every step she takes looks rehearsed, staged for maximum effect. The red carpets? She shows up alone, dazzling the cameras, knowing the gossip columns will buzz. Where's Harry? The coffee meetings? Conveniently leaked to the press at just the right moment. The casual handshakes, the glowing smiles, all calculated reminders that Meghan doesn't need Harry to shine. Industry insiders say she's already in serious talks with streaming platforms, Netflix, Amazon, even big studios, projects that put her at the center, not as Harry's partner, but as Meghan's solo brand. And you know what? It works. Hollywood may have closed the door on the Sussexes as a package deal, but Meghan on her own? She still sells. She's marketable, glamorous, a brand unto herself. But behind that polished smile, whispers say Meghan is furious. Furious that the empire she spent years building, the power couple brand, the carefully curated Sussex name, is crumbling faster than she can save it. The Hollywood elite that once rolled out red carpets for her, they've gone cold. A-list publicists quietly tell their clients, avoid her, don't be photographed too close, don't risk becoming material for a Meghan and Harry exposé. For Meghan, silence is worse than scandal. She thrives on buzz, on optics, on prestige. So this pivot, this sudden solo push, isn't just ambition, it's survival. Harry, on the other hand, looks like a man spiraling. Friends describe him as withdrawn, quieter, almost subdued. Yes, he bikes, he surfs, he walks the dogs in Montecito. But the spark, that cheeky rebel energy that once defined him, gone. Reports even suggest Harry's floated the idea of spending more time back in the UK, not because he misses the family, but because he's desperate to remind the public he still matters. But when he did go back, the truth was brutal. The welcome? Frosty. The palace? Polite, formal, but cold. The institution hasn't forgotten the digs, the Netflix specials, the podcast rants, the memoir bombshells. Harry walked those palace halls not as a son returning home, but as a tolerated guest. And that reality cut deep. The gossip online paints it perfectly. Comment sections that once defended Harry now read like obituaries for his reputation. He looks lost. Where's Meghan? Are they even together anymore? Headlines don't ask if Harry's thriving. They ask if the marriage itself is cracking. That narrative is hard to shake. And every awkward appearance, every stiff smile, every desperate-sounding speech just cements it. His charm? Still there. In flashes, but those moments are fleeting, overshadowed by an image of weariness, of a man who doesn't know where he belongs. Meghan, meanwhile, is relentless. PR insiders say she's laser-focused on optics, red carpets without Harry, interviews with her name as the headline, carefully leaked photos of meetings with Hollywood insiders. It all screams one thing: rebrand. Executives may hesitate on the Sussexes, but Meghan's solo? She still has potential. As a lifestyle brand, as a media personality, as an activist, Meghan can sell herself as anything, and she knows it. And then there's the silence between them in public. Harry returns to the UK, struggling through scripted speeches. Meghan stays in California, glowing in photos with producers. The distance isn't just miles, it's symbolic. Two different stories being told at the same time, one of fading relevance, the other of strategic rebirth. For a couple that once built their entire image on unity, the divergence is impossible to ignore, and insiders swear Meghan isn't looking back. Her focus is on salvaging her own future, strategic meetings, brand negotiations, quiet but deliberate PR moves. And Harry? He's left clinging to the remnants of a story that's already ended. The monarchy, of course, isn't opening its arms to Harry. King Charles? Strictly formal. Prince William? Keeps his distance, burying himself in duty. Queen Camilla? Insiders whisper she won't even allow a single photo alone with him. That's how deep the mistrust goes. The bridges Harry thought he could rebuild? Burned beyond repair. When Harry walks through those palace halls now, it's not as a beloved son or brother, it's as a tolerated guest. A formality, and he knows it. That heavy realization has followed him back to California. Friends say he fills his days with surfing, biking, walking the dogs, but not with purpose. He looks restless, like a man circling the edges of a life that doesn't fit anymore. Conversations that once flowed freely with friends now feel strained, awkward, clipped. And while Harry fades, Meghan sharpens. Every move she makes looks like part of a bigger strategy. Hollywood lunches, glossy red carpet poses, whispers of new projects, all telling a story where Harry isn't the lead anymore. Meghan is carving out her next chapter, and it looks very much like a solo act. The symbolism is brutal. Harry, awkwardly stumbling through speeches that feel scripted and lifeless. Meghan, radiant in California, photographed laughing with producers and strategists. Two different worlds, two different stories. And the public? They see it. They feel it. The couple once united against the crown now looks like two people drifting in opposite directions. The tabloids, of course, are feasting. Rumors of Meghan reconnecting with a financier, gossip about secret meetings and possible new alliances. No evidence, no confirmations, just whispers. But in celebrity culture, whispers are sometimes more powerful than facts. Meghan doesn't even have to deny it. The speculation alone paints her as desired, in demand, unattached to Harry's sinking image. And Harry? He's left with the cruelest label of all. Not scandalous, not dangerous, just just irrelevant. A former prince once adored for his cheeky charm, now reduced to the man no one wants to be photographed with. In Hollywood, where image is everything, irrelevance is a death sentence. It's ironic, really. Harry was supposed to be the one who broke free from the palace, the one who rewrote the script, who lived on his own terms. Instead, he's stuck in the shadows, a man without a role. Too far from the monarchy to be royal, too awkward in Hollywood to be a star, too drained to be the rebel prince people once loved. Meanwhile, Meghan thrives on perception. Every photo is curated, every smile is staged, every leak to the press is calculated. She's not just surviving, she's repositioning herself, maybe as a lifestyle figure, maybe as a media mogul, maybe as the glamorous activist Hollywood still wants. Whatever it is, it's hers alone, and that's the heartbreak of it all. The fairy tale that once looked like a bold escape has morphed into a cautionary tale. Meghan is the strategist, the survivor. Harry is the lost prince, still searching for a script he no longer remembers. For those who once rooted for their love story, this new chapter feels bitter. They escaped the crown to be free, but freedom exposed the cracks. The world is watching as Meghan builds brick by brick while Harry lingers in the shadows, realizing too late that the spotlight doesn't wait for anyone. It's the ultimate irony. A prince who once electrified crowds, now fading into the background. A duchess who once played second fiddle, now stepping into her own spotlight. The power dynamic has flipped and the whole world sees it. And as the gossip machine churns, one question lingers louder than ever. Is Meghan Markle preparing for life without Harry? Because if the optics, the rumors, the solo appearances, and the whispers are anything to go by, the answer may already be written. The fairy tale is over. The drama, however, is just beginning.